Halo. I mean, what the hell can I even say about this game series that hasn't been said a billion times over? This game series soared to new heights never before seen by any video game before or arguably since. So I figured with Campaign Evolved coming out in about a week, I wanted to go back to the original game that started all on the original Xbox. Well, not the original Xbox because I no longer have my original Xbox, but I do have a 360 and I put new thermal paste and everything on the CPU so that it should run just fine. Yeah. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to take you back with me to experience how Halo became so instrumental in not just video games, but in the hearts and minds of gamers for an entire generation, while I explain just why Halo is so important. Now, before Halo, Bungie didn't just come out of nowhere. They were actually founded in 1991 by Alex Seropian and Jason Jones in Chicago. They were the premier game developers for the Apple Macintosh back then. And that is what I call irony. Games like the original Marathon trilogy innovated first-person shooter games with being able to look around freely with the mouse, dual wielding, and its ability to tell a cohesive story in a first-person shooter. And then they also had their real-time strategy game Myth and Myth 2. It was actually a huge bug in Myth 2 that caused Bungie to seek acquisition. You see, Myth 2 had this funny little quirk that when you would try to uninstall it from your hard drive, it would just take everything else with it. Fuck you! It was so bad that Bungie had to recall all 50,000 copies of the game before redistributing it, costing them over $1 million. And this put a lot of financial strain on them back then. Not the last time that they would have financial troubles. But after Myth 2 was done, Bungie began developing their next real-time strategy game, Monkey Nuts. Yes, the game that would eventually become Halo was originally a real-time strategy game called Monkey Nuts. But they changed the name because founder Jason Jones was not able to say the name in front of his mother, so they renamed the real-time strategy game to Blam, changed it to a third-person action game, and it was shown off at Macworld 99 by none other than Steve Sweatervest Jobs himself.
This game is going to ship early next year from Bungie, and this is the first time anybody has ever seen it. It's the first time they've debuted it. And so I'm very happy to welcome on the stage Jason Jones, who is the co-founder of Bungie and the Halo project lead. Halo is the name of this game, and we're going to see, for the first time, Halo.
However, due to their financial instability, they actually approached Apple and Jobs to see if they could be acquired. Which, of course, being the Apple game developer, Steve Jobs obviously said no. Then, Microsoft stepped in and offered to buy them outright. One big problem though, Bungie wasn't switching from Macs to PC. When asked what they were developing the game for, I imagine it went a little something like this.
Shut up, bitch! Oh my god!
No, Microsoft had this shiny new toy that they wanted them to develop for, and it was called the Xbox. So, Steve, Billy Bob Gates, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson picked up Bungie from Chicago, tossed them over to Redmond, Washington to develop Halo for the Xbox. Which, if you stop and think about it for a second, is fucking insane. Back then, you didn't make first-person shooters for console games, and definitely none that were worth a damn unless your name was Rareware. But the smartasses over at Microsoft had a little trick up their sleeve, and it was this. The original Duke controller. Why is it sticky? Now, I was 5 when Halo and the original Xbox came out, so little tiny baby me couldn't really hold the Duke that well, because it was bigger than me. But that didn't stop my older brother from getting Kilimanjaros on Blood Gulch with his friends. His ability to come from PC shooters like Counter-Strike to Halo all stemmed from this controller. Now, despite popular belief, Bungie didn't invent twin-stick controls, but they sure as shit perfected them. In fact, Back on the Nintendo 64 for GoldenEye, Rare offered a twin stick setup for you to use. It's just that you couldn't use one Nintendo 64 controllers, you had to use two plugged in simultaneously. If you somehow played the game like this back in the day, fucking how? This doesn't make any sense. Did you have 6 arms? I barely know how to use this thing normally. How the fuck did you manage to do it with 2? If you managed it, please send me a picture or a video of how you did it, because what the fuck? Now with Halo, the left stick was used to move your character around, while the right stick controlled all your aiming and where you saw, allowing for much better control than directional buttons, and thus spawned basically the control scheme for every single console first-person shooter for the rest of time. Seriously, almost everything we see as standard controls for FPS games today started here. Want to jump like you have moon shoes on? Hit the A button. Want to bash in the head of a sleeping grunt? B button. Want to switch between your 2 weapons? Y. Not why would you hit the Y button. Want to chuck a grenade in an elite like Shohei Ohtani? Left trigger. Want to give Master Chief those master cheeks? Squat and crouch by pushing in the left thumbstick. While that layout definitely simplified the controls, it was actually the assistant elements that they implemented into the game that made it easily accessible for anyone to pick up and play. Bungie implemented aim assist and bullet magnetism to allow players to hit their shots without being pixel perfect. While running around trying to aim, the game will slow your reticle down over an enemy and follow them for a little bit so you can hit your shot. And as long as the reticle is lit up red, the game will say, "That's good enough," and curve the bullet towards them. And these assists are present on almost every single weapon in the game, except for things like the sniper rifle, which that would matter a little bit more if the Magnum pistol that you should almost always have on you wasn't the most overpowered weapon in all of gaming history. And yes, you should almost always have the pistol on you, because unlike shooters prior to that, you could only carry 2 weapons at a time. You couldn't carry an arsenal of weapons like you could in Doom or GoldenEye. You had to pick and choose. On the bright side, you could pick up almost every single weapon in the game, except the energy sword, but that would come later. The game would reward you for planning ahead and even place certain weapons in certain spots for the next upcoming arena. Like, you could find a conveniently placed rocket launcher and plenty of ammo when you're about to come up against a Banshee, Ghost, or Wraiths. And different weapon types are more effective against certain enemies. Human weapons like the assault rifle and the pistol are very great against unshielded targets, but plasma weapons are great at taking down shields but don't do as much damage to health. Knowing how to manage and when to switch weapons for the most effect is something that the game doesn't really spell out for you, but it's left for you to figure out and experiment with to try to figure it out on your own. And speaking of shields and health, this was another innovation that Halo introduced, and yet somehow most first-person shooters today still can't get it right. In Halo, you had a regenerating shield that, when depleted, encouraged you to duck behind cover to give yourself a little break before running back up and continuing the fight. But you still had a health bar that you had to manage and pick up health packs around the map, meaning you couldn't just run around, take cover for a few seconds, and dive back out again. You could not be reckless. Especially because the enemy AI would charge you or lob grenades at you if you were ducking behind cover for too long. Enemies rush you, flank you, or duck behind cover themselves if they see you charging at them or throwing grenades. How is it that this game that's over 25 years old still does enemy AI encounters better than most modern first-person shooters? It made for a dynamic and varied battlefield that allows for no 2 encounters to play out the exact same. The fight changes based on your exact weapons, your tactics, your positioning. It's seamless and jaw-dropping. Which, speaking of jaw-dropping, have you heard the music? What, you thought I was gonna go this far and not mention the amazing soundtrack by Marty O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore? You don't even need to have ever picked up a game controller to know the main theme. You ever see that video of the group of choir kids in the boys' bathroom just chanting that theme song? It's magical. Wait, can I say that about a bunch of kids in a boys' bathroom? Shit. Editor, cut that. The music is atmospheric, it's hypnotic and eerie, and I think it's the best implementation of music in video games outside of Doom. And the best part, it's not constantly playing or blasting in your ears. Marty O'Donnell knew that just after a few minutes, any song would just become background noise, so he always had it shut off after just a few minutes and then allow the environment to just take over the sound design and let it surround and take over. And the sound design is just outstanding. The different enemies all sound unique, all the guns are punchy, and you can tell exactly what each enemy has just by listening from around a corner. It's brilliant. But in multiplayer, none of that beautiful soundtrack or ambient noise matters, because now you are sharing a screen with 3 friends and up to 12 other players on 4 Xboxes, 4 TVs, 4 copies of Halo, 16 controllers, and a fuck ton of internet cables. Xbox Live and online multiplayer weren't around back in 2001. So instead of online parties, people had LAN party, and they were a dime a dozen. Still to this day, when I have people over, sometimes we'll throw Halo on the Xbox and we'll play a round of pistols only on Hang 'em High, first to 50. And outside of games that are friend slop or Mario Party and Mario Kart, it's the absolute most fun we've had playing a video game. And I think that truly speaks to how great Halo is and what Halo truly is. Halo isn't a first-person shooter, it's a party game disguised as a first-person shooter. Future games in the series and their online playlists would extenuate and go even further with this idea, but at the heart of Halo, it's always been about building a community of gamers to come together, play, and have fun together. And it's that sense of community why I wanted to make this video. Now, I've been more or less having some notes that I'm following along with, but this is kind of where I veer off and just talk directly to you guys. All the innovation and the shiny new toys and just everything that Bungie poured in to this masterpiece, it's all great, but it pales in comparison to the audience that this game drew and brought together. I don't love Halo because it was an innovative masterpiece and that it's perfect and it should never be touched. No, it's got flaws, but they're human. I don't love Halo because it's a perfect game. I love Halo because of the people that I played it with. Like I said, when Halo came out, I was 5. I couldn't put my hands around this and play with any sort of skill. Because I was 5, my parents wouldn't allow me to play it because it was a rated M game. Now, yes, absolutely, I would go downstairs to the basement late at night before school and just put it in and just play a few games on my own when no one would be able to stop me. But my most fond memories are actually just sitting there on my parents' basement stairs while my brother and his friends were gathered around this huge tube TV and just playing, just laying down together and having just the most fun I think I have ever witnessed anyone playing a video game have. And they were no strangers to gaming together. I mean, they would play games like Counter-Strike together online. But I never heard them laugh and scream and just enjoy a game nearly as much. The game brought together this community that I haven't seen before for any game, and I can't say I've seen it since. Bungie fostered a community of just people who wanted to play and have fun. And it's because of that community that machinima projects like Red vs. Blue, which spawned all of Rooster Teeth, came to be. And the fact that Bungie just fostered that and encouraged it is truly something special that I don't think any other game, at least in my lifetime, has ever had that kind of just natural push. If it wasn't for the Halo community and looking up videos of Halo online, I would have never found Red vs. Blue. I would have never found Achievement Hunter. And I likely would have never started this channel because I started this YouTube channel in the hopes that it would be a Let's Play channel and that me and my friends could join the Let's Play family with Achievement Hunter. Obviously, that didn't work out, but I don't know where I would be without the Halo community or the Rooster Teeth community or any of that. Yeah, sorry, I'm just going on. I don't know what else there is to say. It's just sad that the reason why Halo is so important to me, and I'm sure that it's very important to you for many of the same reasons. It's that era that I don't think we're ever going to get again. No matter how great or how terrible the remake is, which I made a video on like why I'm skeptical about the remake, which probably right here, like if you want to go back, I still stand by what I said there, but I'm cautiously optimistic. No matter the quality of the remake, they will never be able to capture that era and that energy that the original game brought. It could still very well be a great game in its own right, but damn, do I miss those days. If you like this video, leave a like, share it, but just comment down below your favorite Halo memory. Just send me the funniest moments, the things that you got out of this game series. I think we all have those memories, and I think no matter what, for all of us, Halo will always hold a special place in our hearts. And hopefully, this isn't the end, and hopefully, this is a new beginning.